So how are you going to operate with less, even though we didn't even have enough to begin with?
Well, it depends on what the priorities are from the past administration, but in this
Are
administration,
inspections not priorities?
they are priorities to protect the
But with
American
less
worker.
inspectors, you can't do
What we
investigations.
don't want to do is weaponize the use of those funding dollars against.
Did you catch that moment right there? This is what it looks like when political performance runs headfirst into real leadership. Representative Ilhan Omar came in ready for a confrontation, throwing out alarming numbers, cutting off answers, and trying to corner Secretary Lori Chavez Derma at every turn, but instead of reacting emotionally, the secretary stayed composed, steady, and completely in control. If you want to see what real confidence under pressure looks like, keep watching, because once you strip away the theatrics, Representative Ilhan Omar entire argument about OSHA cuts collapses under basic facts.
Thank you, Madam Secretary, for being here with us and watching the hearing earlier. I learned that you're also a former union member.
Well, my father was a Teamster.
Ah,
Yes.
okay. All right. I'm a former AFSCME member. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the child labor enforcement. In two appropriations hearings last month, you expressed a firm commitment to fighting illegal child labor. At the same time, your agency has decimated ILAB, including its work to prevent child labor. Your budget proposal will weaken a historically under-resourced wage and hour division. The nominee to be your solicitor of labor wrote a chapter in Project 2025, which literally calls for the rolling back of child labor laws. Madam Secretary, can you assure this committee that you will not propose any rollbacks of child labor rules that prevent children from being employed in hazardous occupations?
I commit to fighting against all child labor exploitation. Absolutely, in this country, we do not want to exploit our children. Consistent with putting the American worker first, the budget does streamline ILAB, that is one of the agency departments that protect the American worker and protect against child labor violations. The budget provides for about $70 million to ILAB, including $38 million in grant funding, while restoring ILAB's emphasis on putting the American worker first.
So that's a long way of you saying yes?
I will work absolutely to combat all child labor.
Wonderful. Many workers across the country will feel the impacts of your staffing and funding cuts to WHD and OSHA. As of May 2025, WHD employs just 611 investigators nationwide. This is the lowest number since at least 1973, even though there are nearly 10 times as many workers and businesses for them to cover. Your budget proposal cutting the office by $25 million, with staffing projected to fall. Your budget would also cut OSHA inspectors by over 12%, even though currently it will take 185 years to inspect every workplace just once. Madam Secretary, what is the plan to keep workers safe when you're slashing enforcement?
Yeah, no, thank you again. Again, one of the overall core missions is to protect the American worker, and that includes in the wage and hour division as well. And while we are streamlining and doing some cost saving for the American taxpayer, we will always be in compliance with our statutory requirements.
Well, that isn't, Madam Secretary, if I can just interrupt for 1 second. At one point, DOJ was set to close 20 WHD field offices and 11 OSHA offices. If this is happening, how will this protect workers?
So the offices that we have been, that were originally proposed through GSA, we have worked with to bring them online. I don't think that that is a good use of the compliance issue, that we have to protect the American worker. And through the DRP, none of our essential workers, either through wage and hour, through OSHA, through MSHA, were able to take those, because we know we need those investigators on the ground to protect the American worker, and I advocated for that.
Yeah, but having fewer investigators and inspectors will not protect workers from wage theft, misclassification, and dangerous working conditions. So how are you going to operate with less, even though we didn't even have enough to begin with?
Well, it depends on what the priorities are from the past administration, but in this
Are
administration,
inspections not priorities?
they are priorities to protect the
But with
American
less
worker.
inspectors, you can't do
What we
investigations.
don't want to do is weaponize the use of those funding dollars against.
How is there weaponization if it's going to take you 187 years to complete inspections and you are cutting the inspectors that are supposed to do those inspections? The math is not mathing.
Well, statutorily, we will protect the American worker. We did not have any of our investigators currently. We're not able to take the DRP in order so that they can be assigned to the job that they are required
So
to do.
are you saying that you're going to hire more investigators to do inspections?
What I'm saying is we did not allow our statutorily mandated offices that we need essential workers like our investigators through wage and hour, through MSHA, and through OSHA to take the DRP because they are essential to protecting the American worker in these industries. We can still cost save and do the job that we need to do.
So American workers can expect that you will expedite investigations to make sure that we are assuring their safety.
American workers can expect that the Department of Labor will protect the American worker, as that is a core mission of the Department of Labor.
Welcome back, because there is a lot happening in this exchange. From the very beginning, Representative Ilhan Omar sets an aggressive tone. She opens with the former union member angle, but it feels less like common ground and more like a setup. Secretary Lori Chavez Derma does not bite. She remains calm, focused, and professional. Then comes the pivot to child labor. Representative Ilhan Omar rolls out Project 2025, the latest scare phrase, and tries to link it directly to the secretary. She asks whether children will be protected, and when Secretary Lori Chavez Derma gives a thoughtful answer about budget discipline and smarter enforcement, Representative Ilhan Omar jumps in with that dismissive comment, suggesting it is just a long way of saying yes. That moment says everything. This is not about understanding policy, it is about manufacturing a clip. The secretary is explaining that throwing more money at a bloated bureaucracy does not automatically protect workers. Real solutions come from efficiency, accountability, and smart allocation of resources. But Representative Ilhan Omar is not interested in that conversation. She wants a narrative where Republicans are gutting agencies. Then we hear the dramatic statistic about it taking 185 years to inspect every workplace. Representative Ilhan Omar claims investigator numbers are at historic lows, but context matters. The country is drowning in debt, and the Department of Labor has expanded for decades. Secretary Lori Chavez Derma is making a simple point. Government works better when it is streamlined, not swollen. The idea that safety only exists if federal agents are everywhere is classic big government thinking, and it hurts growth. Representative Ilhan Omar suggests that without constant federal oversight, workers are automatically unsafe. That ignores reality. Businesses have strong incentives to protect employees because injuries, lawsuits, and shutdowns cost real money. The most revealing moment comes with the discussion of funding. Secretary Lori Chavez Derma warns against weaponizing federal dollars. That is the heart of the issue. Unlimited budgets combined with massive bureaucracies can be used to punish industries based on politics rather than safety. That is what she is pushing back against. Secretary Lori Chavez Derma is defending taxpayers and small businesses while still prioritizing worker protection. She is saying you can enforce the law without turning the Department of Labor into a political weapon. Meanwhile, Representative Ilhan Omar paints a fear-driven picture of collapsing safety and child labor disasters, all tied to budget restraint. It is emotional storytelling, not evidence-based policy. In the end, Secretary Lori Chavez Derma stays firm, proves her point, and shows that fiscal responsibility and worker safety are not opposites. Representative Ilhan Omar came looking for a villain. Instead, she found someone who understands governance. Drop your thoughts below. Do we need more bureaucracy or smarter government? And make sure to like and subscribe.